Alright, then audio on, transition to talking screen, and hello everyone! How are you doing, Mama?
Doing all right. How are you this evening?
Doing alright. Yeah, I've been arguing with people, so a bit frustrated about that, but it is what it is. People like to have opinions about poor people that are disappointing. So it's very annoying. But I don't know. Did you do anything exciting since last week? I haven't really been up to too much.
Nope. Nothing exciting.
I did stream more Final Fantasy VI over the weekend, and some more Monster Hunter on Saturday. But yeah, other than that, I think it's Sudoku time. Are you ready for Sudoku?
Yep, sounds like Sudoku to him.
Alright, then let's hop over here. Crazy Consecutives by Llama King 14. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along the marked diagonal, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in consecutive order. Within each cage of size n, place the digits 1 to n such that the digits form a consecutive string, where each digit touches all the digits with which it is consecutive. Hold on, I need to reread that part. It would also help if I had the rules up in the large version, so let me pull that back up. My camera's probably covering like a third of it, but maybe I'll fix it one of these days. Let's try again. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along the marked diagonal, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in consecutive order. 3. Within each...
Did you start YouTube?
It's on my phone.
Oh, because mine's just saying waiting for old man to go.
Uh-oh. Give it a refresh real quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Sunday, February 24. It says it's coming. There we go. You're on there. Okay, never mind.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Technology's great when it works, which is a lot less of the time than it's supposed to. But a lot of that is because programming is hard. I was working on a program recently, and I found some bugs that were just simply caused by doing things in the wrong order. And it's just sort of like forehead slapping, how can I be so silly? Type goofiness. It's like you're telling the program, all right, I want to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Grab a knife, dip it into the jelly, then swipe it onto the table, and then place a slice of bread on it. It's like, that's not how any of this works. Anyway. Crazy Consecutives by Llama King 14. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along the marked diagonal, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in consecutive order. Within each cage of size n, place the digits 1 through n such that the digits form a consecutive string where each digit touches all the digits with which it is consecutive, either orthogonally or diagonally. This consecutive string is allowed to cross over itself. Not all cages are necessarily given. Hint, you should be able to form a single line along the consecutive string, starting at 1 and ending at 9, where the line is allowed but not required to cross itself. Digits marked by a white dot are consecutive with each other. Not all white dots are necessarily given, nor are they necessarily along a consecutive string. Okay. I'm a bit confused by the consecutive strings thing.
Well, if you look at that L-shaped
Yeah,
thing at the cage at the bottom, those would be 1 through 5, with 1 and 5 being at the ends.
yeah. That part makes sense to me, but I'm a bit confused by like the white dots stuff.
Well,
Not all
it's
white
like
dots are
one the
necessarily.
'cause boxes 1, 4, 5, 6, and 9 look like they're part of those,
Yeah.
um so between boxes 5 and 6, there's a white dot. So those are not part of the same string, but they are consecutive.
Okay. So it's just, I guess, the inclusion of unnecessary words here. Not all white dots are necessarily given. I mean, that's not unnecessary. Nor are they necessarily along a consecutive string. That's the part that I don't get. Is why are we clarifying this part?
Whatever.
Yeah. So unlike the puzzle that we talked to Elatron about last week, this is a part where the addition of extra wording can add some ambiguity because it's not directly apparent why that additional wording is there. Maybe it's just to prevent people from thinking that like I need to be able to draw a string that goes from this box into the next one, or from this box into this one.
Maybe.
Yeah. And I think the hint here should have said N instead of 9, but it doesn't really matter. Okay.
Well, I mean, since the whole box is 1 through 9.
Yeah. But you've got these two that are, in
Yeah,
this case, 1 through 4 and 1 through 5.
right.
I don't know. Anywho. And then the marked diagonal, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in consecutive order. Well, that's going to place a 5 here, which is going to disambiguate this one. Let me place that correctly. And then we've got 4 and 6 on opposite sides there. 3 and 7, 2 and 8, 1 and 9, and I just see this 2 is not allowed. So we have 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I have to have a 3 in here, so that is 3.
Right. And
So
1 cannot go in the center, so that's either 2 or 4.
well, it could be 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4,
yeah,
because we are allowed to go
it's
diagonal.
diagonal, yeah.
Yeah. But we do have to have 1 and 2. Wait, what?
Oh, that doesn't work.
So, okay. So this is where within each cage of size n, place the digits 1 to n such that the digits form a consecutive string where each digit touches all the digits with which it is consecutive, either orthogonally or diagonally.
Oh, that 5 string, because of the diagonal possibility. Now that wouldn't work.
All that would do is say that 1 and 2, because like I could do 5, 4, like I still have to, like this one has to connect like that. And so I could do 1 and 2 like
All right,
this. So this is...
it was the 2. Well, no, what forced it to be the direction it was going?
The 5 along this one.
Oh, right. Right.
I mean, that's still going to block 1 from here as well. But then how do I reach the 4? Oh. It's this part. Because I placed it go like this, where it was
Right, you
orthogonal,
can
that
swap. Right,
disambiguated this. But because that's not true, because of the diagonal that you pointed out,
right.
I wouldn't be able to, since this cannot be 1, I'd have to place 1 over here. Then I have to place a 3 here, which has to reach a 4, which goes 3, 2, 1, and now we have 1, 2 this way. 6, 7, 8. Well, 7. 7, 8, 9. Gosh darn it.
Well, and consecutive with that 4 going across the crop key, but from box 5 to 6.
Yeah. And I can't put 4 in either of these places, so that's a 4.
And 3 cannot go in the vertical
Yeah.
from the 4. It has to go horizontal or diagonal. But if and 6 is going to be the other one with 5.
Right. So we're going to have 6 there, 3 there. One, 2, and 4. Well, apparently that one's 4. So
Right.
we got
Where can
this.
where can 1 go in box 6? It can't go across the center or up or the right side.
This one cannot be 1, because if it is a 1, then I'd have to place 2 in one of these two. But I can't. So
Right.
this must be 2. So that's 1 and 2. So now I have to place 1 as one of these two. Can't be here. So now this is 1, 3, and 6. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 7, 9. The 7's not on top. Which is obvious
Well,
because the 7 here. And
right, but if you put 7 in the middle, that puts 8 and 9 on either side. You can't do that. Well, that also includes 1. It's 1, 8, 9 in the bottom row there.
yeah, I should have seen that.
And the middle is 2, 6, 7. And
3, 4,
3,
and
4,
5.
5.
Well, if this was 4, it wouldn't be able to connect to this one, which has to connect to 4. Because it's either 3 or 5.
Right.
So this is the 4. And so that just goes straight across.
Which, yeah, 2, 6, 7.
Could I put 2 in the middle?
Well, and
Because
you
these
have
two
to
have
get
to be adjacent, don't they? Say again, I was talking over
yeah,
you, sorry.
6 and 7 have to touch.
So I couldn't put a 2 in the middle. And that's going to be
Right.
true of 1 here in the middle because 8 and 9 have to touch. So this one's 9. I don't know if we get more information than that. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it could go 6, 7, 8, 9. It could
Okay,
be
well,
a number of interesting ways.
um boxes 1 and 9 are also part of
Yeah. 9 has to look like this, because 5 had to be one of these two. It couldn't be this one. Although, oh, no, I took that into account because of this 5 here.
Right.
But then I saw this 5 over there, and was like, oh, wait, I didn't see that 5. But anyway, I did it correctly somehow. So that had to be 5, 6, and then you get 7 here. The line is allowed to cross itself, so that's fine.
Well, look
6.
where 4 can go. I was going to say, look where 4 can go, because there's 2. Column 2 has a 4, and row 3 has a 4.
Yeah. 4 is just placed.
Right.
6 is still one of those two. I could put 6 and 5, or I could put 6 and 5.
But if you put 6 and 5, then that blocks off cell 3 in that box. If you put 6 and 5 up there at the top.
Right. No matter what that would be, it's not going to work. But also the 5 here breaks it, so that helps. 3, 5, 7. Not a 7. 6 has to be over next to that, so that's 1 and that's an 8. We get our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, so that has to be a 3, but then 1 and 2 can be in either order. 3 is now placed here.
And that leaves 2 and 4 in the box, and that doesn't work. Or, well, in the column.
What did I mess up? Because got my 4 3s.
Can you flip the 2 and the 3 in box 2? Which would put 3 and 4 together in the...
Oh, I messed this up like 1,000 years ago. Because I said this was a 3 and then did that.
Yeah.
Oh no. That was so long ago.
But 3 could go in the bottom.
Yeah. One, 3, 4. None of those are 4, so that still is. That still can't be a 3. So that's still 1, 2, 3 here, but they can't be a 3. And this still can't be 1 because you'd place a 2 here. So that's a 2 and that's a 1. 1 is forced there. And it doesn't matter which one's 2 or 3, you can still do the string just fine.
In box 6, the 3 and the 6 are still...
Yeah. And then...
And the 7.
7, 9. It's not on top because it sees a 7. Can't be in the middle. It'd separate the 8 and 9. 7, 8, 9. 8, 9. 1, 8, 9. 2, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6. No. 3, 4, 5. 4. And if this wasn't a 4, those would have to both touch a 4 somehow. The 4 would be over here. So this is 4. 8, 9, 7. If this was a 2, 6 and 7 wouldn't be touching, so that can't be a 2. And if this was a 1, 8 and 9 wouldn't be touching, so that's a 9. So neither of those are.
Right. And box 9 stays the same as what you had it. Because...
Right. 5 has to be one of these 3. Both of these 5 see that one. This 5 sees that one, so this is a 5. And then that 5 only has one thing that touches it. Same with the 6. And now 8 and 9 can be in either order.
Right. And now the column 9, needs 2, 3, 4.
And one of these two has to be a 3, because otherwise 2 evens cannot be consecutive. So this is a 2. Or I guess it's not a 3, which makes it a 2. which fixes that. Well,
And
this
now
cannot be a 3
3,
because it would
yeah.
be 2 and 4. So that's 4, 3, and 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. Where these cannot be 8, 9, so these two aren't 6, 7, and apparently those are fixed. These two 4s and that 4 will add out of all of those, so that's 4. I can't place a 5 here or here, so this is 5, that's 6. This one's going to have to be a 3, and then you can do 1 and 2 in either order, but the 2 over here fixes it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get a 3 and a 5, a 7 and a 6, an 8, oh, 1 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That should be all of our strings, so
So
this is a
3
9.
needs a 9. 5, 6, 7.
A 1, a 7, and an 8. These two are 8, 9, and something else, but 8, 9, 8, a 7 it looks like.
Yeah.
How about these two? 6 and 7. 1 and 2 it looks like. 3 and 9.
Yeah.
And then, well, this one's done.
It's 9.
Oops. Yeah, I read that 4 as a 9 somehow. I need another 4, which is going to be
and 8.
here. Oops, 8 there.
That's what I call it. You swapped a rows.
Yeah.
6 in the top.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't understand why I am not very consistent about doing things in a systemic fashion. Like, I know I personally like things to be systemic, or not systemic, systematic. Those are two different words, although their meanings are somewhat related. Maybe they have the same root, regardless. But I struggle occasionally with, like, my brain just wanting to go everywhere, and it's just sort of like, that's not helpful here. Like, sometimes I'll check ones, and like, if I want to check that ones exist in a puzzle, like, I'll sometimes go by rows, sometimes I'll go by columns, or sometimes I'll just be like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And it's just like, that's not I'm making it harder on myself for no reason. But I guess it is what it is sometimes. Recognizing it is what is needed in order to solve it, I guess. Now I'm just trying to multitask, and now that makes things harder because your brain really can't focus on multiple things at the same time. Darn. Puzzle doesn't exist in Logic Masters Germany. So, grab that link. It's here. Alright, anything else on this puzzle before we move on?
No.
Alright, then, Colorful Killers by Just a Little Guy. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Identical digits cannot appear in cells a chess knights move apart. All lines sum to the same number. Colorful Killers. All lines sum to... Okay. Well, they're limited. Well, they're actually quite limited. Their minimum is 14. But how about their maximum? Because it can't go up to 17, because these have to...
Right.
I mean, these are a minimum of 14.
16 or 17, so it's 14 or 15.
Yeah. If it was 15, these wouldn't work.
Right.
So it has to be 14. Because you can make these work with a 7, while
Yeah.
these be 5, 6, 8, 9. But if this was 6, 7, 8, 9, this would also have to be 6, 7, 8, 9, because there's no third
Right.
method of making 15. So this one is 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get 6, 8, and 9 on the outside. Excuse me, 5, 6, 8, 9. We're going to get the same thing over here, 5, 6, 8, 9, but we can also have, excuse me, 7s pairing up, although we can't do that here. And I had immediately forgotten about anti-knight. Because I knew why this couldn't be a 7, because that one, but I was confused why this one couldn't be, but then I remembered the
Right.
anti-knight
And
rule.
row 6 has 5, 6, 8, 9.
Right. 5. This one isn't a 1.
No, no, take the 5s out of those and put in
Oops.
7s. Not box 5.
The 5 still comes out of box 5,
Oh,
but
well, this is true. Don't
we
add the
just
7.
lose the 7s elsewhere. Yeah, I think it's going to be useful to paint these as red and blue. Because, well, maybe I don't start with this one. Let's start with this one. Because this one can't be there or there. So this one over here must be blue, and this one red. And so, because we've got two reds that look at that one, this one must be blue, and therefore this one is red. This one we know is blue, and it sees both of those, so this one is red and blue. Although I guess I could have figured that one out. It was just a bit harder from this direction. And then we've got two reds looking at this one. So this one is either blue or it's yellow, which is a pair of 7s. So I'm actually going to not paint that one, just in case it's a pair of 7s. Although I do know that 7 must exist on this line. But I can place a 7 here without interacting with this line.
Right.
So that's not enough information. I know that this is a red-blue pair. No, this one's the what's more important. Because we know that these need to be red or blue.
Well, and that
if I
top
look
one can't be red.
right, so this one's a blue digit. But it could be a 9, which pairs with a 5. This one cannot be a blue digit either, so it's red, which means this one must be blue. Therefore, red must be 9 and 5. Now this can't be 5 or 9. Because it couldn't be red to begin with, and now we see the 6, 8 forces a 7. Well, this has to have a 7 on it. And then it's going to have to be 3, 4, and 7, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because 1, 6, and 2, 5 are out. Yeah.
Right. Which makes the bottom of the diamond in box 5 a 2.
Six and 8 have to be these two, because they can't be over here, and then these two rule it out of that one. 9 has to be here. So then this is a 1-2 pair. 7 and 3 or 4. Oh, I guess I know what these are. 6, 8, and 9. But the middle is not a 9, so this ends up being a blue digit. Which,
Maybe get rid of the red on 9 and 5 and make 6 and 8 red and blue. All right. Red in box 4. If it's 8,
here we go. So if we look in box 7, red is
right.
out of these by Sudoku. And then this one rules it out of those by Anti-Knight. So red has to be on the left side, which rules it out of the left side of box 4. And the middle, because of this one up here. So it has to be one of these 3. And it's clearly not 9 or 3 or 4, but also this one rules it out of there as well. That one's red. Blue ruled out of this. So we get blue looking like that. Not extremely helpful, but we'll figure it out. Actually, that one's not blue.
Red's over there also.
Yeah.
And the top's
Actually,
not red.
yeah. So that fixes those that way. So this one can't be red. This one is. Blue's rolled out of the middle, so the bottom rolls it out of here. This is a 9. And not a 9. And I think you were thinking something along this one?
Right. If it's 8, we need, well, if it's 3, we have to get 7 or 11. So that would be 3 or 5. If it's 4, we need 10, which would be 2 or 4.
So this one is 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Yeah. Since they sum to 14.
Mm-hmm. This one over here, well, it's going to be the opposite of this one. Oh, go ahead.
5 can be placed in box 9.
That's true. Takes 5 out of there. But that's just one option removed from the 3,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, 6 and 3. But 5 Well, it can't be eliminated, but just narrowed down in box 8.
Darn.
Yeah.
Are our 7s done? Got one of those 2. One of those 4.
In box 9, a
Oh,
6 requires 8.
this has to be a 7, which cannot pair with an 8.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be 6 and 1. So blue, 6. Okay, not over there. That's now 6 there. And red is 8. So probably don't need the coloring anymore.
And 8 plus 6 is 14, so it's either 4 and 2 or double 3. So the bottom one can't be a 4. The reason it couldn't
I
be a
messed
double
that up.
3?
Uh,
Okay.
because I wasn't listening properly.
Oh, okay.
That was definitely on me. What's left in here? 2, 3, 4, and 9, it looks like, where none of these can be 9, so this one is. 9, it looks like it's there. We have all the 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7s. Got this group, and that group, and one of those 2. Yeah. 5s should be mostly done, but not all the way. Although I guess they're there. Yeah, we are. Place those mostly. 1, 2, 3, 4, where 1 is neither of those. I guess it's just 1, 3, 4, and 6.
Oh.
2 and 5, I think.
Box 2. The bottom of the red line can't be 3 or 4 because it sees the 3 or 4 pair in box 5.
Right.
My knight's move.
Guess I'll go ahead and leave the superscript 5 there for now. Where next? Well, this is a 2, 3, 4 triple, so what's left over here? A 1. Taking 1 out of there. 2, 3, 4 triple again. 3 and 4 are out, so that's not a 1 anymore. Those are both 2, so now this cannot be a 2, and those are a pair of 3s. Alright, I'm going to take the superscript out of there. 4 is out. These 2 are 2 and 4. 1, 3, and 5. 2, 3, 4, and 7. Where 7's not there. 2, 3, 4, and 7 it looks like. So not a 7. These are just 2, 3, 4 going across, where that's not a 4 and that one's not a 3. And it's left over on the top. 2, 3, 4, 7, and something else. A 1 it looks like?
Yeah.
Well, 1 and 1 means 1's like this. And I think that 1's have to be on the bottom here. She's going to place a 1 there. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So not 3 or 4. 2, 5 pairs, going to take a 2 out of here. So this is 1, 4, and 6 now. Not a 1. Can't be 5 anymore. 2, 5, 4, and 6. This one's not 5, 6. This one's not 4. Let's see, script out now. Two and 4 are different. And they both see this. So if this was a 2, those would both be 4, but they don't work together. So this is a 5, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 7, 1 and 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 7, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 1, 6, 4, 2, 4, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4, and 3. Ta-da! It is quite useful to paint in that puzzle. Alright, is it on Logic Masters Germany? It is. Row 4. Copy. Alright. That was correct. Honestly, I found it to be fairly straightforward. So I would go with easy on that one. I'm trying to decide whether it's actually on the easy side of, or the very easy puzzle or not. Which would be a first for me, saying that people are overestimating the difficulty of the puzzle. I mean, obviously it would be harder if you don't use your painting techniques, but aside from the mathematics and proving that it's a 14, and I think like one tricky step, which was identifying that this one had to be a 1. I don't remember that much that would make this puzzle that more more difficult. Like this one was pretty straightforward. All you had to look at was 7s at that point in time. I don't know. This might be the only time I'm ever going to argue myself lower in difficulty. I don't know. Would you consider this a very easy puzzle?
It did seem pretty easy, especially when we were remembering the anti-knight.
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and mark that very easy, because I think that one was actually... I mean, I think it's very approachable. It's got, like, a couple of tricky techniques, but, like, they're not that difficult to spot as long as you're looking... Like, you don't need to, like, try to foresee things pretty far ahead. All you have to do is look at where can 1s go. Oh, 1s can only go in these places, and then suddenly you've got your 1 placed. It's not anything that requires too much of the making things line up in a way. Like, you don't have to do any X-wings or anything like that. So, I mean, obviously you're using some of those types of techniques with the, like, the painting.
Right.
But, like, we only ever painted with, like, 2 colors at a time. I guess there was this 2-4 pair here, which saw this, 2. But that's just sort of that might actually be like the trickiest part of this puzzle, is that 2-4 pair. But I don't think that on its own is enough to jump that up to regular easy difficulty. But yeah. All right. I don't need to justify my choice with an hour-long lecture. So, let's take a look at another puzzle. I think, wrong button. This one. Grab this puzzle that we wanted to take a look at a while ago, which is Sudoku Variants Series 345, a remote Kropke Sudoku, which was something that Elatron said that they were inspired by, and even has a quick shout out here by linking it to Sudoku Pad. So, yeah. So let's take a look at this one. Sudoku Variant Series 345, a remote Kropke by Richard. Apply classic Sudoku rules. A white arrow in a cell indicates that the digit in the cell with the arrow n and the digit in the nth cell in the direction of the arrow are consecutive. A black arrow indicates that one of these digits is twice as big as the other. All possible arrows are given where the arrow pointing from 1 to 2, or the other way around, can be either white or black. There are some variations of the Kropke rules where in the all Kropkes are given, where if it's a white dot, then it cannot be 1 or 2, and a black dot is similar, cannot be 1 or 2, because it would have to be both. But I think most variations of this say it could be either, but it is a potential possibility, so it is necessary to say whether it can be one or the other. So, I'm looking for places where, like, this one has to be 1, 2, or 3. Because it's limited by how many spaces are in this direction at all.
I suppose you could always start with the black ones, like normal.
That's true. So any of the black Kropke dots, or Kropke arrows in this case, I keep bumping my desk. I apologize to people listening or anyone who listens back to this. But the black Kropke arrows, regardless of their location, are limited to the options of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. All of the even digits can be halved, which allows them to work. And for the odd digits, 1 and 3, you can double them to a single digit number. But once you hit the odd digit 5, doubling it goes to 10. So it's too big for a single Sudoku cell. 7 and 9 have the same problem. And now if we look for places where I can even place an 8, those are going to be places like these. But if we look in other locations, like these two, they only have 3 spaces from them. So 4, 6, and 8 is eliminated from there. I've only got 6 spaces from here, so 8's eliminated. In fact, 8 only works when it's on one side and points all the way to the other, so 8's out of both of those. 8's going to be out of here.
Box 5.
Yeah, this one only has 4 spaces of possibility, so both 6 and 8 are removed. This
Box
one
8.
has 5. Oh. Box 8, it has 4 on both sides, so 6 and 8 are removed. Similarly, this one has 5, so 6 and 8 are removed. This one has too many for 8. Now for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They cannot be 6. Because then they would put a 3 in the other one, which would then point to another 6, which is in the middle here. Now, it's still possible to place a 6 here, with one of these being 3, because it would no longer look at the other one. Now, this clearly can't be a 1, because it would put a 2 right next to it. And it can't be a 3, because it would put a 6 in both of these places. So 2, you can put 1 and 4 here, or a 4, you can put 2 and 8 on opposite sides of the 4. Okay. Are there any other severely limited arrows? Well, this one is 1, 2, 3, or 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad, which is going to take out 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. This must be now 6 or 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would place a 3 there. But if we just look at the rest of the row, it has to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, you clearly can't place a 9 on either of these two arrows. There's definitely not enough distance. This one has 6, 7 as a possibility, so 8 is out. This one only has 5 as a possibility, so this one's actually forced to be 5. So that's actually going to place a 4 here. And now we get 1, 2, 3 there. If this was an 8, we can place the 4 on the opposite side, but if it's a 6, we can place the 3 here, so either one of those is a possibility. But for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. 7 is perfectly fine. A 6 would place a 7 here. So this one is not a 7, because if this is a 7, then you can't put a 7 there. But if this is a 6, the 7 ends up being placed here. So since 7 has to be one of those two, this one cannot be. So we rule it out of both. This one, 1, 2, 3. Well, if that's a 3, this one would be a 6 or 7, so that's not allowed. Ah, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to place 2 or 8 up here. This one, 1, 2, 3, because that's all the space that it has. So then, no, I don't think this being a 2 is going to be that problematic for this one. It would force it to be a 3, which is going to place... Well, actually, what would it place? If this was a 2, you get 1 and 4 here. Which forces this to be a 3, excuse me, which is going to make this be 2 or 4. The 2 is obviously out because of this, but then the 1-4 pair is going to take out the 4. So then this 3 actually wouldn't work. So that means this is a 4 then, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Which is going to be 2 and 8. Takes out 2 from here. So then 1 would make it a 2. Well, that's clearly not allowed, so this is a 3, which makes this a 2, which makes that an 8.
And the white cropped arrow on that 4 in box 8.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, that's a 3 now. Those aren't. This is 1, 2, 3. This now must be 2 or 4. 1, 2 pair there, places a 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 or 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 5. Not 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 5. We've got a 3 in the box already, so that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This must be a 6, because 4 has already been used. Not a 3, not a 3. Apparently this isn't an 8, so 2 is out. Yeah, 8's
Box
right there.
5, the 3, you can work with those arrows.
So this is well, this is a 6. But 1, 2, 3 is going to be 2 or 4. Unfortunately not placed yet. So what, 7, 8, 9 is remaining? But that's clearly going to take out 1 and 2, so 4 is going to place a 2 or 8 down here. What else? Well, this one is 1 through 6, but 4, 5, and 6 are already used up, and it can't be a 1. If it was a 1, it would be consecutive of 6, which doesn't work. 2 is not consecutive with 4, so 3 is going to have to be consecutive with 2. 2 spaces away, we get 1 or 4. There's already a 4 here, so this is a 1.
And the column.
Thank you. 8 up here.
Finish
And what's
with
left
7
over? That's going to take 1 out of here, because of the 2 there.
Well, that and 1 puts it on the 7 or 9, so.
1, 2, 3, 4. We'd put an 8 here. 5 and 6 would place a 3. Neither of which is broken, so 1, 2, 3, 4 could be consecutive with 3. Or 5,
row
6.
1. Alright, row 1 in box 3. That cannot be a 1, because that would make a 2. It can be a 3. 4 would make that a 2, and that still works. Okay.
How about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's the distance that's allowed. 3 and 4 are removed from the box. A 1 would place a 2, which is fine. 2 is consecutive with 3. A 5 could be 4 or 6. Well, not 4. It could still be a 6, though.
That's not 5 away from that.
Oh. Yeah. I thought, yeah. I can't count. I started with this being 2 away, because of the 2 in there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's a 3. 4, 5.
But 5 could be consecutive with 4, so
right.
that still works.
And it would just place 2 or 8 here. Alright. How about this one? It's got a space of 7, so 1 through 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all removed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are possibilities. 7 is not consecutive with 2, so 7 is removed. Well, if I placed a 5, then this one would be a 6. If I placed a 6, I could place 5 or 7 here. So, not helpful quite yet. Now, one thing we do need to keep in mind is the fact that all arrows are given. So we haven't used the negative constraint yet. So that might be something we need to start looking into. But these have a range of 6. So then 3 and 6 is removed, 3 and 4 is removed, 2 is removed. This one can't be a 1, because you can't place a 2 there. 1, 2, and 3, that has possibilities that are consecutive with 3. A 4 would work with a 5. 5 would place 4 or 6, which is allowed, and 6 could place 5 or 7, so that's fine. This one can't be a 1, not consecutive with 7, 8, or 9. 2 is consecutive with 3. 4 is consecutive with 5, which is a possibility, and then 5 could be paired with a... Oh, right, because there's a 4 here and a 6 there. And now we get a 2-4 pair, so that's nice. 2 comes out of here, so we get 1, which would place a 2, or 5, which would place a 4. No, I didn't look at this one yet, but this could be a 1 placing a 2. A 2, which would place a 1 or 3. A 5, 3, 4, 5. 4 is not allowed, but it could be a 6. Okay. Well, the last few arrows go all the way up to 8, so let's place those. This one, 2 and 4 is out. This was a 1, it would not work, and a 3 goes into the next box, but that's 7, 8, or 9, not consecutive with 3. 5 is consecutive with 4, and then 6, 7, 8 are all possibilities. And I think those all work. This one, not 2 or 5. 1 does work. 3 would work with a 4. No. 3 would be up here. Thank you. That does not work. 3 is not consecutive with 6 or 8. 4 is consecutive with 5, so that's still a possibility. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6, 7, and 8 are all still possibilities. Take this one, 2 and 5. A 1 cannot place a 2. A 3 is not consecutive with 6, 8, or 9. 4, I could place 5 or 5 or 3 here, which would pair with this 3 or 5. 6, 7, and 8. I think 6 doesn't work because, no, 6 pairs with 5. Silly me. 2, 4, 5, and 8 are removed from here. 1 doesn't work because that's not consecutive with 8. 3 is consecutive with 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 and 7 are still possibilities, and 7 can still pair with the 6 up there. So 2, 3, 4, and 8. Can't be 1, that would pair with a 2.
But 7, count from the bottom, count 7.
Oh, this one would. Oh, that's a 2. Take that out. 7 is going to go there. 6 there, and 5 here. Those all seem to have possibilities. So then take this one out. 2, 4, 6, and 8. All of the evens are gone. 1 does work with 2. 3 could not be with 2 or 4. So 3's out. 5, I think, gets us to the 4, which is allowed. 6 and 7 gets us to an 8, which is also allowed. Okay. This one can't be a 1, because those would end up both being 2s. 2 this would be 1 or 3. No, it would be a 1. And that would also be a 1, because it can't be a 4. But those can both be 1s. That's just fine. 3 would get to a 2 or a 4, which is just fine. And a 6, which is just fine. 4 would bring us to...
Well, no, because that would have to work with arrows, right?
Which one?
Oh, the negative constraint. Would have to be with the arrows.
All arrows are given. So,
right.
Like, if I look at this 2 right here, it could not be a black arrow pointing to the left. Placing a 4. Because if...
6.
Yeah. So that's going to place 3 all the way over here, which takes 3 as a possibility out. Takes 3 out of here. We get a 2, 4 pair. That doesn't seem to do anything. And now we look down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This one must be 5 or 7. And this is not a 6 anymore. So now, if we look at this 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, well, that one's down, so that's fine. And that one goes off the grid, so that doesn't matter. 3 and 5 don't connect at all. This one, 2, 3, 4, 6. Well, 2, 4, and 6 are the things that would be removed. So those are already removed, so I don't care about that. This one, I haven't looked at very closely. If it was a 1, it would break, because that can't be 6 or 7. Or, excuse me, 1 is not half or double 6 or 7. And a 2 doesn't work because 2 isn't consecutive with 7 or 9. 3 is going to go there and there.
It can't be 3 because the black arrow would make that a 6, and there's a 6 in the row.
Oh, right. Easy days. 4. Well, 4 works with both. Oh, except that's consecutive. 1, 2, 3, 4, just to double check. And that's a white arrow. 2 and 8 are not consecutive with 4. So this is a 6, this is a 7, this is a 5, that's a 3, that's a 7. 3 works with 4, 5 works here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 6, not a 7. 6 isn't in any of these, nor is it one up here. This 7 is out. 7 goes all the way.
In box 9. Oh.
Gonna be here?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess more importantly, the 3 up here, which pairs with the 6, which is fine. And then here.
Would be
5 or 7?
5 or 7.
If this was a 6, it would pair with this 3, and an 8 would pair with the 4, both of which are fine. But if this is a 3, it would look at here, which cannot be a 6 because there's no arrow. Oh, and this can't be an 8 because 6, 8, 9, which also removes the 6. 3, 5, 7, and I don't think a 1 is shown. Now, could this be a 1? I don't think so, because if this was a 1, then this could not be a 2. But then this one couldn't be a 2 either, both of which are consecutive with 1. So 1's removed? Does that sound right? Okay. So that gives us a 5, 7 pair, placing 3 and 1. And removing this possibility of being a 2. 4, 2. 4, 4.
And then the 4 with the, except 5.
Which looks down here. 4. 2 or 8. A 7. A 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That works with 4 just fine. 4 and 7 are removed. That's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. 7. 8, 9, and 1. This 2 removes the possibility of 1. That's a 1. That's an 8. None of these are 8. That's 2. Two, 8, and 6. 1 removes 2 as a possibility. So 8 and 2. 1, 2, and 9. Apparently that's a 1, and a 9, and a 2, and a 7, and a 5, a 3. And this one cannot be 4, so that's an 8, a 4. This one's fixed. A 9. 1, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. 9 and 6 are fixed. 7 and 9. This one's a 9 up here. Not a 1 there. 1, 6, 7, 8. Take 6 out of there. 2 and 1 can't be next to each other.
Yeah. And then go up 1 more. That can't be a 1 either.
Oh, right. Because the 2 removes it from both. So that's a 1 down here. An 8 and a 7. 6, an 8, and a 9, which apparently neither of those could have been 9 for some reason. Right. Oh, this couldn't be a 9 because
at the bottom. Oh, I was going to say the 8 and the 7 at the bottom of the both have arrows.
Right. 8 is going to place 7 or 9. Oh. And then this one is 6 or 8, which is going to be an 8. I think this is a 1, and 2 or 5. These two, 1 and 7?
Yeah. But box 1, the last cell, can't be a 2 because the negative constraint for the 1.
Right.
So it can't be 2.
Five and 7. These two are 2 and 5, I think. Those are done. How about this one, which is done? Looks like it's a 1. This one is a 4. And I don't see 8 or 9, which are in that order from left to right. Now, while we did that one fairly quickly, I think this is a hard puzzle. Brian G, hello. I believe this is my friend Brian from work. How are you doing, Brian? Definitely a hard puzzle. Yes, it is. Let's see. Is this one? Oh, yeah. I got this one from Logic Masters Germany. So, solution code row 2, followed by row 6. You'd think I would be able to read by now. And I wish I'd put it in that one down there, but so hard. Very nice though. I'm trying to think about if it reaches very hard level.
I would have said more toward the hard side of average, but
yeah. The reason I'm not going to say the hard side of average, and I'm going to actually go with hard, is because it's all over the place, and it is very tricky to pick these ones out. Brian says, I'm doing well. Seeing you on motivated me to set up my Twitch schedule. Awesome. I remember last time we talked about your Twitch schedule, you were wanting to do Tuesdays. Did you actually, are you going to do more than just Tuesdays? And, while I am thinking about it, twitch.tv/ would you like me to put you want to do Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Would you like me to put a link to your channel in either the chat or the video description? Because people should be able to look back at the chat after this, if they go back and see it. And then obviously the description is available as well. Sure. All right, I'll do both of those. Do. Boom. Go visit my friends. Twitch. He's playing Satisfactory. Oops. Messed it up slightly. Can I edit it? Probably not. It's still got an underline, so that's working. And then I will put that in the video description as well. I cannot copy that message. It's a bit annoying. Put a reminder down here. Go visit my friends. Twitch. He's playing Satisfactory. Cool. Alright, I'll put that in the video description once I am done. Alright. Anything else you want to talk about for this puzzle, Mama?
Oh, good.
Alright. Then, I am going to take a look at another puzzle from the channel Cracking the Cryptic. If you like Sudoku puzzles, I highly recommend their channel. Play these in the background, and let me get this pulled up. Bam. Alright, don't need those anymore. Also don't need this window. And mute that, and nice. Alright. So, next puzzle we are going to do is going to be Ménage à trois. You took French in high school / college, right, Mama? Was I anywhere close?
Probably about as close as my accent was, but I had horrible pronunciation. So.
Yeah. So hopefully, the French people can come into the video description and provide some not video description, the comments. There we go. You'd think I would know what the vocabulary I'm supposed to use here on YouTube is. Anyway, provide some pronunciation guides in the comment section, or the chat. You're gonna have some difficulty with links. I think I'm the only one who can put links in the YouTube chat, but doesn't matter. Anyway, Ménage à trois by Die Hard. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits must not repeat on the marked diagonal. Digits in cages must sum to the cage total. Each n sum line can be divided into 2 or more non-overlapping groups of adjacent digits that sum to n. No two lines have the same value for n. What? Okay. Oops. So these gray lines, let's just take a look at, I don't know, this one. Each n-sum line can be divided into 2 or more non-overlapping groups of adjacent digits that sum to n. No two lines have the same value for n. So let's say the sum on this line was, I don't know, let's pick 9. So I would put a 9 over here. And then I could do 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, and 4 and 5. And then that would be 4 groups that don't overlap and all sum to 9. I don't know that this line is 9. I just know that that is a singular possibility. Right? Does that seem like I'm understanding the rules correctly, Mama?
I think so. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay. And then with these 3-cell versions, one of them on the ends is going to tell us what the sum is. So let's say this one was a 3, and then the 3 was the sum. I could do a pair that are 1, 2, which sum to 3. And it's going to have to be how that works because I couldn't put 3 of the same digit on there. And then with the cages, say 16, that could be 7 and, well, it's going to have to be 7 and 9. And then for like 15, that could be 6 and 9, or it could be 7 and 8 as possibilities. But yeah, alright, so let's restart the time and figure out this puzzle.
Well, there are the 2 16 cages.
Right. 7, 9. And then these two see each other because of the marked diagonal, which has no repeats. Now, if we end up with a 9 on here, so, well, I was about to make a silly conclusion, which is that these two are not allowed to be in the same sum group. However, that's not necessarily true, because I could just have a very large sum here that pairs with, say, the last 4 on this line. It just needs to be 2 groups that sum to the same value. So, 15, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess this 11's a little restricted. What do you want to look at, Mom?
In 9, since there's a 20 cage,
Yeah.
we know all 3 of those cannot be in the same. The 2 end ones are going to be together because you can't have multiple sums of 20.
Yeah,
Since
but
the whole row is only 45.
it could be larger than 22. 20 as well.
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
guess it
like a big...
would be 44 and then a 1. I had not considered that.
Anyway, this 11 again. That's slightly restricted. Minimum digit has to be at 2. But then 2 pairs with 9 and 4 pairs with 7. Those are removed because of the 7, 9 over here in this 16. How many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I count that correctly?
I count 11.
And single digits.
I was going to say, if you consider the 3 cell ones, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all going to be.
Right, I forgot that the minimum had to be 3. Which in that case, means that these 4 have to be at least 10. So what that tells us is that the ends have to all be paired together. Now, it might end up being 4 and 4, or 3 and 5, or something like that, but because they're minimum 10 in each of these, we know that the ends cannot be alone. Hmm. Don't necessarily know if we learn more than that. Because it's not guaranteed that, like, we know that these have to be different sums, but they don't have to be 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Right.
And they could go all the way up to 22, which you mentioned before.
Right. And they're in row 6, that 10 cage.
Yeah.
Um, Now, it doesn't even have to be part of green.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, what I was thinking isn't working.
I kind of wish this line had been this set of 3, because then we would know that 9 had to be over here. I guess one thing I could do is this 9 here has to be 1 through 6 as its possibilities. So then, if I take a look at this one, what are the possibilities that it has for its sum value? I can't use 3. I can't use 4, because that would be 1, 3, and 4. Could I use 5?
No. Because it would either be 1, 4, 5, which would leave you with
2, 3, and 6.
right, or 1, no, 2, 3, and 5, which 1, 4, and 6.
Right. And if it was 1, 4, 5, I mean, that's still 2, 3, and 6. It's broken either way. I don't know which way I messed up there. But, okay. So,
6,
3, 4, 5 is out.
be 2, 3, and 4 for the 9. If it was 6, it would have to be 1 and 5.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, it could be 2 and 4, because that would leave 1, 3, and 5, the 9.
Yeah. Because if we have the minimum for what 6 digits can be, the minimum is 21, and
Right.
9 and 12 is 21.
Yeah.
That was probably where we should have started. Hmm. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So can't use 7 or 9 in box 3.
Right. Neither of them. Could either of these two be 3? 4 and 5 makes 9, which would only work on the bottom. So this one could be 3, and then you have 4, 5, and 9. But this one cannot be 3, because then this one cannot be 4, 5, and 9, because the 9 and this 16. A 4 would be 1, 3, so that would leave 2 and 5, which could be 7, but 2 and 6 can be 8, which is allowed up here. And also down here. And obviously 2 and 7 is 9, so... Well, this one... 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Streaming, Sarah?
Wow. All right. In row 9,
Uh-huh.
that last cell. Well, no, because it could still be other than that. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's just...
Yeah, that's just the possibilities for the sum total. Can this one be 3, 4, 5... Oops, wrong version. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Neither end is limited. And I guess we've got this one over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or this one cannot be 7, 8, or 9. Could this end be a 3? I would make 1, 2 there. And then your minimum set of 4 would be 21 minus 3, which is 18, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can't make 2 9s. So this end cannot be a 3. Could this end be a 3? If it was, it would be 3 and 1 as minimum. So, well, again, we have the same 21 minus 3, and I can also subtract 1 more to get 17.
Yeah.
8, 9. And if I subtract 2, I get 16, which is 7 and 9. But those work as possibilities. Where else can I go? Could this be 3? You'd have a 1-2 pair there. A 3 has to pair with 4 or 5. But I think you could do either of 1. And you can also do 3 with a 1-2 pair there. I don't need both 1 and 2 in the 9 cage. This is ridiculous. How did this end up being a 40-minute solve? Less than 40-minute solve. Yeah.
Okay, in row 9,
Uh-huh.
because there is that 20 cage,
Yeah.
it's either going to have to be more than 20, making that... Okay, let's just say it's less than 20. So the red is by itself.
Yeah.
It's
It could be
minimum.
equal to 20.
It can't be equal to 20. Oh yeah, it
I
could
could put
be.
a 5 here and make all of those together.
You'd have to, yeah, 20 and 5. Um,
But if it's less than 20,
then it's going to be max 11, right?
minimum 11, I think. Because you'd put a 9 here.
Right. Yeah, right. Minimum 11. Which would have to take 4 of those, which would be a 1. Max would be 17.
Well, it couldn't get to 17 because
It
then
could,
this one
no,
over here.
right.
Well, wait, no. I could make a bigger group. I could make
Yeah.
2 sets of 3.
Threes.
So if I did...
17 times 3 is
Well,
too
that's
much.
too many.
Right.
Could I do 17 in this much? Well, 17 times 2 is only 34.
Well,
which needs 11. Okay. So it'd have to be a minimum 3 groups.
Right. And the
which is already too many.
Is going to be 14.
Say again.
It would have to be max 14 then. Because, if it's 15, that's 15.
That's 45.
Right. So 14 times 3 is 42. So
yeah, I would put a 3 there.
Final digit is going to be... Well, no, because if you had because 12 times 3 would be 36. That'd be a 9. Okay.
If this digit over here was a 9, then... Well, that just simply
14.
Wouldn't work.
Well, they would have it would be 14s would be it'd be 3 groups of 14.
If the right side was a 9?
Uh-huh. 14 times... Oh, no. It's not 14 times...
Because that would be 36 left over, which is either 4 9s
13
or
times.
3 12s.
Right.
Or 2 18s.
3 12s. That's what I was trying to... But you can't do 2 8. Yeah, you could.
No.
No. 6 is 21. So you couldn't do 2 18s.
Yeah. Because you can't, if it's less than, yeah. So, but unfortunately this can still be a 9, because 3 12s.
Right, is 36.
And a 1 just needs 44, which is 4 11s or 2 22s.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Nothing is eliminated there.
kind of really upsetting. But, okay. Perhaps we should be thinking about this a different way entirely. These bottom 3 rows sum to 135, right?
Right.
And we know that this is 3 different values well, so they're x, y, and z. And this is some multiple of x, some multiple of y, and some multiple of z. And then when you add...
Well, wait a minute. Of adjacent digits.
Yeah,
Now, that doesn't mean they have to be consecutive. Never mind.
right. But we do know that this is even, the sum of these two. So whatever the products are, the result of x, y, and z has to be odd. I don't know if that's enough information, though. But we know that these are not all 2s. And they can't all be 4s either. At least one of them has to be 3. It has to be 3 times an odd number. Or all of them are 3 groups of an odd number.
Right.
Because x, y, and z, let's say x, y, and z was the whole row, the whole line. Because we know that the sum of this line is even, the rest of it has to be odd.
Right.
And because we know that each line is a multiple of something else, if it was 2 groups of something, that's an even sum, so it doesn't matter. If it's 4 groups of something, it's again an even sum. But if it's 3 groups of something, the only way we make that odd if it's 3 groups of an odd number, because the only way you get an odd number is when you multiply 2 odd numbers. Whenever you multiply by an even number, you will never get another odd, no matter what you multiply by, as long as you're multiplying integers. So we know at least one of these has to be 3 times an odd number. Or they're all 3 times an odd number. And it's not long enough to be 5 groups, because they have to be at least 2 digits, because the sum has to be a minimum of 10 on all 4 lines at the bottom. And there's only 8 spaces across. So it's 2, 3, or 4. That's it. So let's say they're all 3s. Well, they don't have to all be 3s times odd numbers. They just need to be... I just need at least one odd number. And I don't know if I have enough information to get to that odd number, though. Yeah, I don't think I do.
Okay. I figured out what I was trying to figure out for row 9.
Okay.
If n is less than 20,
Yeah.
it can only be 12, 13, or 14.
Uh-huh.
So the last digit would be either 9, 6, or 3. If it's greater than 20, then it can only be 21 or 22. If it's 22 or 21, then the last digit is 3, and if it's 22, then that's 44, and the last digit is 1. Because 3 12s is 36, which leaves 9. 3 13s is 39. So therefore 6 and 42. Yeah. N
These
can't
have
be
to be
20.
times 2s, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. I forgot about you can do well, yeah, you can do 20, which would leave 5. I forgot that one. So yeah.
Okay. So that definitely limits the options here.
Right.
8
1,
and
3,
7 are
5,
removed. And 4.
and so are 2 and 4. Oh, right, 4.
We got
1,
5,
3,
6,
5,
and 9.
6, 9 are all that can be.
Mm-hmm. Now this one would have to be greater than 16 if it takes up this here. So then 17's the minimum. 17 times 2 is 34, and 17 times 3 is too many.
Right.
So...
And 34 is not enough.
Yeah. I'd have to get to 36 divided by 2 is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I could put a 2 here. And then the rest of that can be 18, and I can place a 9. Although I can't place a 9 according to this. Because 7, 9. So 18's not allowed. As a pair of 2, and it can't be 3 either. So then... But I could grab a 3 and make that 19. 19 times 2 is 38. I guess I should be looking at using my notes here. Row 8. So 17, 18, 19, 20 times 2 equals
34.
which implies 11. Times 2 equals 36, implies 9. We know that 11's not allowed. We know that 9's not allowed, but let me do times 2 equals 38, implies 7. Times 2,
And 7 would not be allowed because of the 7, 9.
right. So 20 is allowed. And then so is 21. We just repeat these two rows. If it's less than,
16.
I mean,
The
if it,
minimum is 10.
well, it doesn't have to necessarily be less than 16.
Well, yes, because it either takes the whole cage to make it more than 16, or it takes, you know, the first cell plus the first cell of the 16 cage.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's just the
Otherwise,
first two digits, I
it's
mean, it has to
minimum
be
10. Because remember, all the ends are different,
right.
and 3 through 9 are already being used
Yeah.
in the 3 cells.
So 10
Would have to be times 4.
implies 5. 11 has to be times 4 because times 3 is 33, which would imply 12.
Right.
Implies 1. 12 has to be times 3. 36 implies 9. 13 times 3 is
39.
39, implies 6. 14 times 3
42.
implies 3. 15 times 2 is 30, implies 15. Times 3 is too many.
Right. And the 12 doesn't work because that leaves 9, and you can't use 9.
Right. 1, 3, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So 8 and 4 aren't allowed here.
And if 3 is used in that, 3 cannot be one of the ends. Or, well, cannot be the n.
It can't be the sum.
Right. That's why I say it can't be the n.
You could do 3 and 6 to get 9, or 3
Yeah.
and 2 to make 5.
It can be on an end point, but it cannot be the end sum.
Yeah. So what about... Oh, I said row 8. This is supposed to be row 7.
Okay, well, row 8 if it's less than 15, it's going to be it basically row 8 duplicates row 7, except it doesn't eliminate the 7 and 9 possibility.
Yeah. Um, so row 8. 15's not allowed because I can't multiply it by 2, 3, or 4.
Right. So that 15 cage has to be split.
Yeah. 16. Well, okay. The minimum sum across that I can get is
And you
36.
can add 12 in there also.
Right. 12 times, has to be times 4 to get
No, that's times 3
48.
for
Yeah.
36.
Implies 9. 15, I can't do in 2, that would be 30, and I can't do it in 3, that's 45. So 15's just not allowed. 16 can't be times 3, so it would have to be times 2.
And
And the
that's
only
32.
way...
That's not that.
I guess I should be doing this from this direction. Times 2 and times 2 equals 38, and then 36 implies 9, implies 7. Now, the middle has to add with something, so actually 9's not allowed in row 8.
Right.
So we get 1, 3, 5. 7 would have to pair with 2, which is not allowed.
Right. The only even digit is a 6.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, and
1,
that's
3, 5,
even.
6.
And you can't do 3 odds, so 6 has to be used.
Oh. Wow. So 6 isn't allowed, and 6 isn't allowed.
So the sum for
So then,
is either 6
or 9.
or 9. And if it's 6, or if it's 9, it's 3 and 6. And if it's 6, it's 1 and 5.
Which eliminates nothing from the middle.
Right.
Because I could put 3 and 6 in either direction, or I can
Right.
put 1 and 5 in either direction. And I can also do 1 and 5 in either direction here.
All right. If
But
that
only
is
6 is removed. Or only 6 is guaranteed. But I'd have to use 1 or 3. Because it's
right.
either 1, 5 or 3, 6. So I cannot do 3 or 4 as the sum up here, up top. If I did 5, that would force this to be 3, 6, 9. But I could still do 1, 4, 5. Right?
Yeah.
And if I did 8, there are so many options that it's not useful. Well, maybe not.
Well, if it's
So, 1, 4,
1,
5.
5, 6. which would leave
Oops.
nothing for 8.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 5, and 6, like you said, would be 1, 7, 5, 3, and 2, 6.
Right. So
Um,
if 8 is used, the bottom has to be 9 with 3, 6, 9, which leaves 1 and
3 and
7,
5, 6 and 2.
which does not work.
So then this has to be 5 as our sum up here then, right?
Yes.
So then 5 is out. So 1 is out. This is 3, 6, and 9. And 9's removed as a sum possibility entirely. And
Okay.
so is 5.
And so for 9 to be in row 9, the sum has to be 12, which so that 20 cage, red sums to 12, and then there's an 8.
And then 8 is
Well, it would either be
4 or 1, 3.
right.
But 8 and 7 are removed here, so this is actually 3 and 6. 3 is out, 8 is out. 4 is not a possibility there. Okay, so row 7 is now a 3. Unfortunately, there are 2 options for that, 14 or 21. Except that's wrong. Row 7
Is 6.
row 8 is 3. Now there are still 2 possibilities. I just need to get my notes properly organized. And this is going to be 13, which is going to make this 4 or 6. It can't be a 6, so it must be 4 and 9 and 7. 7 can't. Yeah, 7 can't
Uh,
pair with.
with 6, so it has to be 1 and 5. And the 1, 5 takes the 1 out, so it's now 8 and 4. Down in row.
Oh, our 12 was in 4 groups, right?
No, 12 times 4 is 48. 12 is in 3 groups.
Okay, so then this must all be green then.
Yeah.
And row 7 is 3 groups. So then let me actually make this green. So this must be yellow. And then row 8 is either 3 groups of 14 or 3 groups of 21.
Right.
Or 2 groups of 21. I
You
said
can't
that
do
also was wrong.
21 in yeah, never mind. And you can't do 15 and 6 as 1, 2, 3. So that 15 is split if it's 21. Box 8 is left with a 7.
8 is a 7. 4, 9, 7, 1, 3, 6, 2, 5, and 8. And 1 and something else. 2, 3, 4.
4.
Well, that's only 5, so it has to grab this.
And now that's 12.
And row 8 has to still be greater than 12. So it
It's
grabs.
14 or 21.
Yeah.
So it's it's going to be 21. 12 and 9.
Thank you. I am struggling.
Okay, we can get rid of the colors now. Unless you don't want to.
No, it's fine too. 6,
Okay,
5,
so what were our
7.
sums were 21, 12,
And 13.
and 13.
Maybe we don't get rid of the colors.
So row 6 cannot be 12, 13, or 21.
Yeah. No, that can't be an 8 either. Where do I put 9 in this row? It can't go in the 9 cage. I've already used 9 as a sum, so it can't go on here. Can't go there, and that 9 sees that, so this ends up being a 9. This cannot be a sum of 4 now. So that's... And I don't think a 6 works, because the minimum there is 9, so that's that. A 7 can pair with a 1 to make 8, and a 2 can pair with a 5 or a 6.
Well, the only even digit for the okay, for row 6 at the end, because the the sum is going to have to be either 11, which leaves 1, doesn't work. 12 and 13 are already used. 14 leads to 3, which doesn't work. 15 and 16 don't work because 16 times 2 is only 32. That's not enough. 17 doesn't work for the same reason as 16 and so 18 goes to 36, goes to 9, does not work. 19 goes to 38, goes to 7. And then 20 and 20 leads to 5, which is not 2, 7, or 8.
Twenty implies 5,
5.
21 implies 3, 22 implies 1. So that's the groups, row
Right.
6. And we
And
don't
the
have
only
5,
one,
and we can't use 12, 21, or 13. 1's not a possibility, 3's not a possibility, 9's not a possibility, 5 and 1. Okay. I don't know if you did that.
yeah,
Okay.
7 is the 19, being the two groups of 19. And the 10 page can't have
Mhm.
just a 9 on the end because there's a 9 in the box. So green extends at least one more past the 10. And you can't do 19 and 2, so red extends one more. So we don't know if
19 and 9 is 28. But I can definitely do 17 and 3, so.
Yeah.
And I can do 9 and 3 as well, so. Alright. What's left over in
1, 3,
here?
4, 5.
These two aren't 5. 1, 3, and 4 are grouped together, though, so 3 is not a possibility. Those have to be 1, 3, 4, 7, 9, 5, 2, 6, and 8.
Well, 8 can't be the sum because we already have an 8 sum for box.
6.
So 2, 6, or 8, the sum is going to be 6. So 8 goes away altogether.
And this is a
And that's
4.
a 4. So what's left in box 5, that little 3 cell, cannot be a 6 sum.
So that's a 7. And 3 and 4 is removed. So 7's removed.
So 3 and 4 are what's left with those other 2 3 cells.
And you can't put 4 in the middle.
Well, and if the if the vertical one was the 3, that would use 1, 2, 3, which would eliminate a possibility for there.
Right. So then this one is 4 and this one is 3. So this is a 2.
Yeah. So the 1, 3 pair in box 1.
4. 1, 3 takes out 1 and 3. So 5 has to pair with 1 and 3. So 5 is out. So this must be. Oh, this could be 4, 2, and 3. Eight and 3. Oh, that takes out 6. So that's 2 and 4. 2 and 5. So that's a 5, not a 5. These two aren't 2. This is a 6. That's a 2. These aren't 6.
Okay, the blue, since we're summing to 19,
Yeah.
that's if blue ends with the 4 digits, that's a 5 or an 8, and that both works.
But it could be bigger,
Right.
unfortunately. Six, 7, 7, 6, and 9.
Well, 7 is
What's.
placed in the box.
Oh, true. What's the minimum here? 5, 6, and 8 is 14, 19? And that's our target, isn't it?
Yes.
Five and 6 and
6.
1 and 4. So that's a 3, that's a 2. This is the 9, 1 and 4. 1 and 4. 1 and 3. 6 and 1. 2 and 6.
Oh yeah, no duplicates on
3.
the diagonal.
3 and 8. So 5 and 6. 1 and
So
5.
that's a 5 or 8 left on the diagonal, which is totally unhelpful. Oh, yeah, it is.
7, 1, 9, 5, 3, 6, and 2. 8 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 5 and 7. Top row. I need a 1. I need a 2. And then I need a 9. And then 6 and 8. 8, 7, and 6. And we're done. Holy cheese, that was a hard puzzle.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. I am a tad bit surprised we got that before needing to hit the stop button.
Well, it is 10:20, but
Yeah. So technically the stop button was 20 minutes ago, but
well, once we got the bottom sorted out.
yeah. Have to grab that link for Logic Masters Germany for my notes. And grab this one. Alright. This one. Copy. Is this in Logic Masters Germany? I messed up the...
How long was Mark's puzzle? You said 40. You said 40
Mark's
something.
Yeah, Mark's solve. The video was just under 40 minutes.
Okay, so we did the puzzle in just over 55.
Yeah.
So that's really not that bad considering it was Mark.
Yeah. I would definitely put very hard on there. Definitely a very nice puzzle. Yeah, we definitely should have looked at the sums sooner. I know you did that. You did the sums there the most part, and I just put the notes in. But yeah, there was a lot of. I talked a lot about it, but not in productive ways until you got to the actual solve there. All right, I didn't hit submit on that. That's definitely a very hard puzzle. I don't know what other people are expecting to fill in that 5th star, but
We've had a few of those that oh look,
yeah,
let's see, it takes 3 days.
yeah. There have been a few puzzles where we definitely thought about them for a long time. Yeah. All right. I don't have anything else to say about that puzzle. Do you, Mama?
No, I'm good. That was a good puzzle. I enjoyed that.
All right. In that case, that is going to be it for tonight. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. There's a notification bell you can ring, and it's always nice if you share the videos. If you are interested in other content on my stream, that is going to be more Sudoku tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I will try to stream more Final Fantasy VI sometime this week. Probably try and do that on Wednesday. And on Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time is more Monster Hunter. With that being said, anybody who watched this now or watches it in the future, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.